I don't think there's any way that I can avoid the amount of heat that I'm probably gonna get from this video. But fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. So what's up guys, it's Spooky here, and today I'm talking about another story that has happened to me. This is story time number 3, and this is a story of how I made a girl cheat on her boyfriend. Now it is basically how it says. I don't think that I can cover this story up other than talking about what happened and how it got to that point. So, if you don't know me, I used to go to this school called Liberty University. Super Christian-y church, and they have a lot of rules and regulations, and they're very strict and all this other stuff. So I had a friend that went to this school, okay? And I think I had, well, not that I think, but I knew I had a crush on this girl for a while. It was one of those things we were really good friends, but we never had anything happen. So, fast forwarding, I got to the school around spring semester. I had previously just gotten off of a relationship that was very, very bad and got ugly very, very quickly. So, February came along, and Valentine's Day was in the, the line of sight, and my friend was sending me messages saying, hey, it's so nice to have you again in town, hey, I'd sure like to see you, all this other stuff. Previously, before this, my friend wanted nothing to do with me when I moved to Virginia, and now we're both from the same place, California. She wanted nothing to do with me. Well, maybe she did. I wasn't too sure. I can't get those facts right because it took a message of me saying, hey, I want to see you first. Can we just talk as friends? Then she started messaging me back because we had a bad falling out when I was still in California because I made wrong decisions. And I do that all the time. Oh well, get over it, right? So we wound up meeting up with each other. We had a little bit of fun. I think the first thing we did was we met up, walked around, we ate some food, got some food. I can't remember. My memory's a little blurry on that part of it. The next couple parts I'm not too blurry on. Okay. So this girl, I think, was dating somebody. Now I know she was dating somebody for a while. And this kid was a super really big into his faith. And she was still growing in hers. Now, I was very weak in mine. I was not a Christian at this point. When I went to Liberty, I was not a Christian, okay? And I tell this to people all the time. My intentions and things were very different back then when I was younger. This happened a year ago, okay? So, what had happened was she was not feeling too well in her relationship. She felt as if her boyfriend, she wanted more from her boyfriend, and she saw some things in me that she wished her boyfriends could have. Now that was the first thing that I should have picked up on, that this situation could turn into a bad situation. But me not knowing, because I'm naive and I want to be around somebody, I went to this girl's apartment a couple times. Nothing happened. We just watched movies, we probably played around. I don't think we really cuddled or anything. We were really good friends, and she was always there for me no matter what. And I was there for her. It came to the point when one day in Virginia just so happens to be the storm from hell, which wouldn't really make sense because it wasn't really a storm from hell, because it was like the biggest fucking snowstorm in the world. Like, I don't know, I've never seen snow this much. I mean, literally the snow had trapped this small town in Virginia for, I would say, at least a week straight. And it caused it caused me 2 times to be snowed in at 2 different apartments other than my dorm. It was, I believe, the second time it snowed a lot, and I remember me and my friend were just gonna go out, get some food, and watch some movies. Now, I knew a storm was coming. I did not know how bad it was going to be. This is my second mistake, that I should have picked up on how bad it was going to be, and I should have got my ass back home when the time called for it. And I remember going to this bus stop. Now, the school had a bus stop, and they had buses that ran all across basically the town and the school. So I remember seeing my friend who I lived with and his now girlfriend coming up to me and my friend, and they just talking to us, we're having fun and all this other stuff. It's funny when I talk about this story because he actually had said that, hey, you know, like when you guys left to go onto the bus, me and his friend, his now girlfriend, I guess he didn't say his girlfriend, him and his girlfriend were talking, hey, this could be a little messy, I hope Brandon's gonna be okay, all this other stuff. We had gotten on this bus and we went to her apartment, and I believe what it was is that we got to her house. It was snowing pretty bad, and then we started watching some movies. To give you guys a little backtrack of this, okay, I used to go to her house a lot and watch Disney movies. Okay, there was one night, I think a couple days before Valentine's Day, we were cuddling, we were fighting. So this was my third mistake. I knew that this girl was, something between me and this girl was going on. There was some kind of chemistry, something bad, but she still had a boyfriend. And I should have picked up on it, but I didn't, okay? It wasn't my fault, and it wasn't her fault, but it was one of those situations that like we both should have taken action upon it. And so that same night, now this is a week, I would say a week or a couple days before, that same night, her boyfriend had surprised her for Valentine's Day, came to the door, and literally, she opened the door, ran to the door, ran outside, hugged him, and I'm sitting there awkwardly because he totally killed the mood of our friendship time, which possibly could have turned into something else more worse, but oh well. So that's a little backstory, okay, of what has gone on. Now fast forward to the story that I'm telling now. We're going to her house, alright? She mentions, hey, let's go to my room. Because her roommate, I believe, I think her roommate had her like brothers and sisters over, or maybe it was nephew and nieces, I don't know. They were sitting on the floor in the apartment ground, they were watching like The Nut Job, some kind of crazy stupid squirrel movie, I don't know. I don't like DreamWorks animation too much. Fuck them, right? We went to her room and she decided, hey, let's put on a Disney movie. Disney movie, apartment, her room, just the two of us. Before this, I was having a little bit of fun and I was going through her wardrobe and I was putting on like a really tight shirt that she had on, and like I was just pretending to put her clothes on, having fun, being stupid, trying to impress her, all this other stuff. So, we get onto her bed and we start cuddling. We put on Brother Bear. I remember this moment distinctly, and this is a part that I'm probably gonna get heat about, and I just can't avoid it, but screw it, I'm gonna put the video up anyway because I learned a lot from this story. We started cuddling and I remember asking her, don't you think this is wrong? She said, oh, I don't see it really wrong. I mean, we're just friends and stuff. It would be different, okay, if I was a girl and we were best friends or we were friends. But I'm a guy, you have a boyfriend, okay, and you want to cuddle? Then I remember asking her, what if your boyfriend was doing this? You know, what if your boyfriend was cuddling with another girl? She's like, I don't think I would really mind and stuff. What the fuck? So obviously you really don't give a shit then, huh? Or it just doesn't make sense to you. Maybe, am I crazy? Am I losing my mind here, people? Okay, when I tell this story, I get to this point because at this point, I didn't know what to do and I wasn't strong enough. Okay, I wasn't smart enough. It wasn't my intentions to do anything, but it came to the point where, okay, I guess this is right. I mean, screw it, I guess I'm the better person then. Is that what you're asking me? Is that what you're saying, that we're gonna be something and that's it? What had happened was, started cuddling, watching Brother Bear or Big something, what, that Disney movie with the giant bear and then the guy that turned into a bear, and then there's a little bear, and then they go on a journey. That movie, that Disney movie. So, we started cuddling, and then one thing led to another. I was the first person, I'll take full responsibility for my actions. I was the first person to engage and do anything, and I wind up kissing her on her neck. Now that is what set things off, and that's when I made, I think, my fourth or fifth, whatever mistake. I lost count. I make a lot in this story, in all my stories. And basically, when I kissed her on the neck, one thing led to another. Things started, you know, going like this and all that, and it was done from there. I mean, pretty much, it had happened. And we knew during, yes, we had sex, to make it as clear as day. And what had happened was, is during the middle, thought about it, we're like, this is completely wrong, and we know we're gonna have to deal with this later. But if you guys have ever been in that situation, which a lot of you viewers have, okay, not in this particular situation, but you know when something's going wrong and you know you're gonna have to deal with those consequences later on. Okay, this was a year ago, people. We sat there and we're like, okay, well, we know we're gonna have to deal with this. Should we keep going? And we did. Pretty much how it ended was a song by fucking Ed Sheeran came on and totally killed the whole entire mood, and that's what had happened. Now, it gets worse from here, I promise you. So after all that had happened, I felt good, she felt good, it felt right, but we knew it was wrong. The worst part about this story is that right after I started reading my Bible, and you know what she did? She Skyped, I'm pretty sure she Skyped her boyfriend, and we were talking, and I was doing my own thing and she was doing her own thing, and he had asked her, what were you doing? She was like, we're just watching movies, all this other stuff. Now, you guys may say, sketchy as fuck. Now, you guys might be saying, this guy is a dick, and she is a complete whatever you want to call her. But like I said, I've never been in that situation. I don't know if she has, I don't think she has. But I was still smiling, I was glowing, because it felt right, but I knew it was wrong. She basically told me, well, no, what happened was after that, I didn't really want to hear that conversation, because at this point I'm like, hey, I should be the one. Like, he's no longer, whatever, that's how I was thinking. So I went outside into the living room to grab myself a bowl of cereal. Okay, you know what this does to me? She comes outside. Okay, she comes outside into the living room and tells me, mind you, the reason why I did not leave the apartment in the first place was because the snow had gotten so bad that it snowed me in, and I physically had no way to get home. I couldn't call nobody because the snow was like up to your knees and all this other stuff. There was nobody plowing at this time, so I was forced to stay there. That's why this all happened, and that's when I should have known I should have got out of there early. Eating a bowl of cereal, she comes out, stands along the wall and says, I really think that you should think about what went on, and I think you should really just figure out what is there to come from this. I think I've prayed, and I think I've meditated on it long enough, and so yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. And I was like, wait, what? No, I felt good. No, this was good. It was cool, you know, it is. Shit happens, right? I'm laughing about it. She's not laughing about it, guys. No. So she goes to her room. I go to the guest room to sleep, and I feel like shit. I'm like, wow, thanks for making me feel like shit. I mean, I should feel like shit, but it is what it is. It wasn't just my fault, right? So I'm sleeping, and then I could hear her in the next room, because the rooms are like, it's very thin wall, and you could hear the next person. I remember hearing she was talking to somebody on the phone. I can't tell if it was her boyfriend, her friend out in Virginia that she talked to about basically everything and fucking anything to. I knew at this point the story was gonna get misled and misjudged. Okay, morning came around. I felt as if nothing happened. I'm like, shit, that really happened. Oh well, let's continue with our lives and forget about it. So basically, I started working out early in the morning, and then I went back to bed a little, and then she comes in the room, she's bawling her eyes out. She says, hey, I talked to such and such, which was her boyfriend, and I think you really need to go. I was like, it's snowing outside. Nobody can get anywhere. You know, like the place is totally screwed. Nobody's plowing right now. You expect me to walk in the snow like for like fucking 8 miles? Like, what? And she's like, no, I think you need to go. I said, fine, whatever. Okay, so she closed the door. I call my friend, and I say, hey dude, can you come pick me up? Like, now. This is serious shit. He's like, okay, yeah, let me just get my car out of the snow. I'm worrying, I want to get out there as fast as possible, because I don't want any occurrence with this girl's boyfriend. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want nothing. At this point, I felt like, wow, I'm already being targeted as the fucking bad guy here. My friend comes pick me up, but before I leave, my friend is like, the girl that I slept with is like, I forgot what she said. She said, bye Brandon. I didn't say nothing. Dead walked out the door, slammed the door, walked downstairs, fuck you, bitch. Okay? Now, I'm totally wrong, but this is how I feel in those moments. Now, I look back on them and I'm like, oh, okay, it's better. I'm better than that. But they still get me heated. The story still goes on. So basically, my friend picks me up. He's sliding all over the damn place because his car has been like screwed up since God knows when. So he's trying not to die. He comes out and picks me up and we go back to the dorm. And I remember getting in the car and he was like, hey dude, is everything alright? I'm like, no, we had sex. And he was like, that sucks. You know, he said something along the lines like that, not making it totally better. But I mean, the whole week was a joke to us because there's a G-Eazy song that talks about I'm fucking your bitch and there's nothing you can do about it. Excuse my language. But we're making a joke about it the whole time. The joking stopped once we got back into school, because school wasn't happening I think for like 3 or 2 days. When we got back, she completely cut me off from everything. I mean, Facebook, you know, like messaging, every single messaging you can think of was not talking to me. And her friend that I had talked to was not talking to me either. Basically, they treated me like I was a fucking devil. Okay, I felt like I was the devil, like I had committed the worst sin in the world. And you know what I found out? That the girl that I slept with was still with her boyfriend because he gave her a chance. But he said you cannot do anything with the kid. You can't even talk to him. You can't even let him know that you're not allowed to talk to him. All this other stuff. So I felt left out. I felt like I was like, wow, everybody's having a good fucking time and then I get treated like the bad guy. Which I should have, right? I should have at least known something. I didn't even get a chance to say I'm sorry or apologize. I didn't even get a chance to talk to nobody for like the longest time. I mean, I'm not kidding you. This happened in February. I didn't even get a chance to talk to the friend that I slept with and explain things until we met back up again in California, I think in July or something. It was the longest time. It was the biggest F you to my face. And this story, it didn't get any better. It really didn't get any better. It was how it was, and that killed our friendship, it killed everything, and it just completely destroyed it. Basically for 6 months, I mean, and even still now, I think one of the reasons why I haven't dated for like almost like 2 years or something already, is because of situations like these. You know, like I feel like I'm not ready for a relationship. I feel like there's tons of things that can go wrong. I feel like I can't trust anybody, like girl-wise sometimes. It takes a lot of responsibility because little things like how I did can happen to anybody. The reason why I tell this story is because yes, it's one of my biggest mistakes. And I've talked about it to pretty much everybody. This isn't a story that I'm just blasting, putting people on blast for. Okay, all these stories I've told a million times to different people in different situations, but I think it's time that I open up to a bigger audience. Because I do not care, because I am better than that. I have grown from that. There's no reason for me to hold these stories in because it could help somebody in the future of saying, hey, listen, be careful of the situations you put yourself in and think about the consequences that are long-term that could happen. If I would have left the apartment early and been a man, I would have had a better situation. I would have not been in that situation. But instead, I chose to deal with it. Sometimes in life, you just gotta deal with your consequences. And I mean, from that point on, and I just had gotten over a bad relationship. I was so depressed. I mean, you can ask my roommate at the time and everybody else around me. At that point, I read through the whole Bible, I read through everything. I was trying my hardest to atone for this. But I wasn't thinking because these things have already been atoned for. But I wanted to prove to myself I was better than that. And I really did grow up from that. And that point in my life, I knew a lot of things had to change. And I haven't dated for anybody for a while, and that's just probably how it's gonna be. And I trust in people a lot more now, but it's hard for me to bring people in because I've been shut out so many times for making stupid little mistakes. I say this story with an open heart. Be careful of what you do in the situations you put yourself in, because even if it may seem like fun in that one part of your time or of life, it can cost you a lot more. Now, from that situation, I can say that I mended things with this person. We dropped and buried the hatchet, we came to understanding, and we went our separate ways. You know, that's pretty much it. Everybody in these stories, I'm 100% certain I have made the time and effort, because I've got shit on a lot of my videos before. I have made the time and effort to explain, to move on, and to resolve for everybody, even myself. because I think a lot of people are starting to misconcept that. And it's not one or two, it's a lot of people. And I'm gonna keep telling these stories because it helps me and it helps others. So yes, in my last video I said hold no regrets, but also be wary of the decisions you make because you may not be able to tell what the long-term effects are. And at the end of the day, guys, be careful, be safe, do what makes you happy. There's really not much more to say about this story, so I'm gonna leave it off as that. Basically, we didn't talk for like 6 months, and then we talked again and everything was alright. We came to understanding. We didn't date, we didn't do anything, but we knew we were both wrong. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story. It wasn't one of my high points. I don't have a lot of high points. I have a lot of low points, but maybe I'll talk about some of my highs later on in life. Who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, live life with no regrets, but also be wary of the happiness that you're trying to go after, and be careful with the decisions you make because the long-term effects might be worse than short. At the end of the day, guys, I love you. I love doing these stories. This is the third story time, and don't forget to share the love. What?